Hey guys, welcome back to Beast Quest, Series 10, Book 6. And that would be, of course, Doomskull, the King of Fear. And boy, has it been a great adventure for Tom. So, as we do, let's wrap up Series 10 and see how it all ends. Tom and friends arrive back at the castle grounds only to be seen by people with many questions of why are you wearing the golden armor? Where is Taladon? Ellen explained that Taladon had died to the White Knight, and they should pay his respects at the Gallery of Tombs. Meanwhile, after some self-doubt, Eleanor convinced Tom he was gonna make his dad proud, and he decided to tell the king what happened. However, he was not in his throne room. Tom asked a servant where he was, and he claimed he was talking to Taladon. Tom got pissed, mentioning his father in a jokey way. However, Tom put this together. This wasn't his father. This was the last night of the Forton. Yeah, last night of Forton. And rushed to tell Eleanor and Adro. They reached the orchard only to find Hugo had been taken, leaving nothing but his brooch, which caused Adro to faint. They took Adro to the infirmary, and Tom was pissed. He had lost his father, the king, and the king had been captured, and now Adro was in the hospital bed. Eleanor convinced Tom she was there for him, and soon enough they had a commotion in the kitchens. It was the Golden Knight's Voracul. After a scuffle in the kitchen, they realized he had a vial around his neck, which he allowed Tom to take, and revealed a vision with King Hugo in the hands of the Golden Knight. And the knight was controlled by Malvel. He claimed he had nearly enough power to get back to Avantia, and he wanted the wizard Adro to help him get back. Otherwise, the king dies. Then the Voracul rose up. For some reason, Malvel was okay with having the Voracul cause chaos on Tom and friends, even though he knew he needed them alive to convince Adro to help him. Anyway, despite losing his helmet, Eleanor shot an arrow at the heart spot. Tom was able to finish off the Voracul until he was summoned to the infirmary. Tom explained what Malvel had asked of them, and despite Tom insisting they break the spell on Malvel to release the king, of course Adro refused, as they wouldn't put the kingdom in danger. Hugo wouldn't want that. However, in Tom's state of mind, he spoke with Daltek personally to conjure a spell to help free Malvel from the Eternal Flame prison. After some reluctance he did, and Malvel appeared on the castle grounds. Now, Tom is only doing what he thinks is right. Second, he probably really feels kind of guilty for putting Malvel entrapped in the Eternal Flame. And three, he wants to face Malvel to get his revenge. And finally, Tom obviously is acting reckless after losing his father. He clearly isn't thinking well, and yes, I'm guessing he reclaimed his helmet after fighting the Voracul. Tom quickly ordered the soldiers to seize Malvel, but using his staff and was now free from the Eternal Flame, he easily overpowered them and stole Storm from the stables. He had claimed he would destroy everything he ever loved to get his revenge. He tried to get away, but Tom stopped him by using the tactics of the castle to lower the portcullis. However, Malvel used the death of his father to lower his mental guard and give Malvel the slip. He quickly re-hijacked Storm and broke through the portcullis. Tom knew where he was going, Arenel, to kill his aunt and uncle, and then probably Storm. Adro came weakened still, despite Daltek telling him to go back to bed. He said no, the kingdom is more important, now Malvel is back. So he helped Tom by using the orb map to help him find the last knight of Forton, the Golden Knight who was going after Ferno the dragon. However, Tom wanted to save his family and the horse first. Adro insisted Tom save Ferno first, otherwise there would be no dragon guarding the sector of Avantia, giving Malvel more control. But to most of our surprise, Tom went with his parents. Love this chapter. Malvel is finally, right now, my favorite villain. This is how you do a good villain. Affects the protagonist personally and screws their head. Velmal did this well too, but if Malvel can do this well more often, I will be more proud of that. As for Tom, he's struggling as it is as it was partly his fault of Malval coming back, and he escaped the castle grounds anyway. Tom is in a place at the lowest of the low mentally, and he's very tough spot deciding between family and the quest. And normally how this works is he would eventually say quest to continue the story. However, this time Tom says no. Eleanor, still looking concerned about Tom's choice, made him saddened and headed for the stables, finding his father's old horse, Fleetfoot. But with Eleanor came in with Blizzard and Silver, she agreed to help Tom. They started their quests together, and that's how they're gonna finish it. We learn that in this chapter Tom doesn't have his helmet. It was indeed left behind at the castle. However, we know that the power of the helmet is still connected to Tom, as he is now the master of the beasts. Tom's keen sight saw the dust trail, and they followed it towards the cornfield. They stopped and felt something near. It was the Golden Knight. He was not at the mountains at all. He was planning to aid Malval in killing his loved ones. Malval used his magic to interfere with Adro's weakened magic orb to change the map. Tom fought the Golden Knight, while Eleanor kept the animals out of harm's way, and despite a little tangle in the plants, Tom managed to overpower the Golden Knight and send him crashing into a barn, which pissed him off and transformed him into his beast form, Doomskull. Now Malval loses it a bit for me, because yes, he really could get Tom's family dead with the help of Doomskull, but if you sent Doomskull off to Furno without Tom's aid, he may be no match for him. He may be no match for him. I'm talking about Furno here. He may be no match for Doomskull, and he was, as we see in Shamani. But that aside, it was a twist I didn't see coming, so it was still good. Tom fought Doomskull, and in the fight lost his shield. But with Eleanor shooting arrows, Tom managed to get his second wind, but he couldn't keep this up forever. He remembered that they couldn't finish off Doomskull without the last token, as that was in Storm's saddlebag, and Malval had Storm now, which I actually forgot about. Anyway, they remembered the last token was a tooth, and they put it together. It was one of Doomskull's tooth. So Tom used all his golden armor powers to break off one of Doomskull's teeth and used it as an impaling blade, which worked and reverted Doomskull back into his knight form, and he gave some parting words, saying that he believed King Hugo should be back on his throne. However, Tom wasn't done. He still needed to save his family and his loyal horse from Malval, and he intended to do this alone. As he left Eleanor to look for his shield, despite Eleanor saying no, he reluctantly left her behind. We get a lot of this, really, we do, of Tom saying no. Tom reached Erenal only to find the village abandoned and all of the houses bolted up. Malval had his aunt and uncle restrained on their knees. Despite Tom telling them to let them go and Tom's demands, Malval planned to end Tom. But just then, all 6 knights of Forton had appeared. Their curse was lifted, and they came to help Tom take down Malval. However, Malval muttered a spell so he could have a fair fight. Only one warrior would be able to fight him at a time. First the Red Knight, and after a bit of sparring, he was soon overpowered by Malval. Then the White Knight, and despite his efforts, he was brought down to his knees. Don't worry, though, the aunt and uncle got out of there safely. However, it wasn't looking good with the 2 knights knocked out. The remaining knights of Forton fought Malval, but being facing Malval one on their own, were clearly outmatched. Maybe the Eternal Flame did some good after all, or Malval was this strong to begin with, and he was holding it back, which I don't buy, so maybe the Eternal Flame did give him like a boost in power. Anyway, after the last knight fell, Tom was in Avantia's last hope, and this sword fight between Tom and Malval, it felt like this was the series been building up to, is how the fights were written. It makes me wonder if the author Adam Blade was planning to stop at series 10, as it was all so and its popularity, he made more perhaps. That's what I'm guessing what happened. Because it seems to be like the ending chapter. Malval is meant to be the final boss from this kind of how the writing is. After a pretty intense duel, Malval had Tom down at his mercy, and Tom's sword in Malval's hand. He claimed to the people of Erenal he had won, and ready the sword to kill Tom. Tom was now in a vision, just before Malval had struck. Taladon reminded Tom that his last words were, "The quest continues." Taladon handed him his son, his own sword. With his new weapon, Tom got back in there and easily disarmed Malval of his own sword and split Malval's staff in 2. Malval begged for mercy, but Tom had grown. He didn't intend to kill him, but let King Hugo decide his punishment. Also, Tom's golden armor and his father's sword had faded. They had served their purpose until then. He would be taken back to the dungeons. However, before they could coil him up, Malvel pulled out a knife, and then everything went black. Tom did declare that this was his destiny. Despite that sentence getting tiring in these stories, it normally is the case, and the hero is meant to beat the bad guy, so it still works. However, it wasn't anything bad. It was Furno, his black shadow covered everyone, as it flew down with Eleanor riding on its back. She also had Tom's shield in her hands, and without wasting any time, everyone made a run, apart from Malvel still frozen with shock, as the dragon blasted Malvel in flames. Nothing left but the rusty knife and the remains of his robes. Ellen explained she had found the shield, then used it to heal the animals, and then Furno came in, as he was sensed he was needed. The horses rode into the eternal flame, they rode into Erenel, and Tom was happy to see Storm again. Then Daltek teleported King Hugo and Adaro into the Erenel, and they told them that Malvel was finally gone. Tom felt a presence which he believed was his father, and the Knights of Fortune had returned back to the Gallery of Tombs to rest. Adaro agreed that he indeed sensed Malvel was gone, and the king gave Tom and the title of the Master of the Beasts, with Ellen as his loyal companion. Everyone cheered as Malvel's defeat. And that, my friends, is, of course, the awesome ending of Series 10. And it's a great ending, I must admit. I mean, if Malvel does return, I wouldn't be surprised, but if Malvel is to go, if this is his last appearance in Beast Quest, it was a good, awesome run with him for, like 10 series. I wouldn't be surprised if he comes back, but I'm saying if this is his final appearance, it was a very good. I like that it was like 10 books, even though he wasn't in Series 8. He was still a main threat at the time, and he was at Series 8 kinda, he was in the dungeons. So, and when he wasn't there, he still was a presence at the end, you know. So anyway, of course, I have to say, Doomskull has got to be easily the best book in Series 10. You can't say that. It's the end of Malvel, supposedly. Of course, Tom's development finally comes full force here, as the death of his father, and he makes wrong choices. He helps the bad guy reluctantly. He grows. He develops all the way through. Character building, bonding, one thing over another. Tom's at his lowest. He's got to fight the beast. Mind you, the beast stuff is pretty short, but that is expected because it is the ending of Series 10, so you've got to kind of wrap up a few things. And this book was not about the beast, it was about between Tom and Malvel, them interacting with each other, and seeing how it all went. Yeah. So overall, guys, of course, like I said, Doomskull, the King of Fear, easily the best book in Series 10. Gotta love it, gotta love it. That being said, this is the end of Series 10. Next time we'll be doing Series 11, and we'll be back with more Beast Quest awesomeness then. Till next time, our next Beast Quest book is... Next time we'll be doing, of course, Elko, Lord of the Sea. I will see you on that one. Till next time, guys. Peace.